And this covers some of the profound submissions that have been made by the earlier speakers. Upon the assumption of power in 1999, the chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, I think it was Tony Anene, who predicted that the PDP will be in power for 60 years. I think that has been modified to 100 years. Many public commentators dismissed the prediction with a wave of the hand. But the PDP has spent 12 years in power. And very soon, unless the opposition political parties and other progressive forces in our country seriously go back to the drawing table, we may be, by default, allow this political party that has destroyed our country another 4 years, which will be 16 years by 2015. Thank you very much. I understand there will be no way. And when that is coming from Ashiwaju, I think we can be sure that we are going to make progress. In joining the call for the alignment of forces, let me warn that any alliance formed for the purpose of defeating the ruling party without addressing the crisis of underdevelopment in our country will not work. In other words, those who genuinely believe in arresting the crisis of underdevelopment of the country should unite on the basis of a program that will put the Nigerian people at the center of development. Now, even though I don't have time, but it's important to make this point. We are making some money now currently from the crisis in the Middle East. Our foreign reserves are increasing, but we're also withdrawing very rapidly from it. The IMF has asked the governor of the central bank to devalue the currency as a way of helping our economy. The IMF is weeping more than the bereaved. But let me say this, that the advice of the IMF has been rightly rejected by the governor of the central bank. But my fear, sir, is that it's very doubtful whether the Federal Ministry of Finance shares the perspective of the CBN on the issue of currency devaluation, as was witnessed in the face-off with the federal legislators over their jumbo emoluments. The finance minister, Mr. Olusegun Ganga, is not likely to take sides with the Nigerian people. More so that the federal government will soon apply to Western financial institutions to fund the 2011 budget. At that stage, Nigeria will be compelled to comply with the IMF conditionality of Naira devaluation. But since we are saying that we should not have the PDP in power, I think another government will have to implement the 2011 budget. If the IMF is genuinely interested in boosting the foreign reserves, it should support the passage of the petroleum industry bill into law, which should promote transparency in the oil sector, eliminate leakages and increase the revenue earned from oil and gas by several billions of dollars. Instead of hampering on currency devaluation, the IMF should encourage Nigeria to sell crude oil in Naira. You see, it's not illegal. We can sell our crude oil in Naira. It should also lend its way to the demand of the Nigerian people for the repatriation of our looted wealth hidden in the vaults of Western banks. Now, let me just say this to our friends, our governors, who go to Abuja every month to share from the crumbs. I say share from the crumbs, so it's not everything that is shared. Though. The National Conscience Party did a recent study, and we discovered that the 400 billion naira made from ports, concessionaire of ports, and the airports cannot be located in the Federation account. The 511 billion from the sale of federal government properties, most of them in Lagos, cannot be located in the Federation account. The $2 billion from signature bonus is not there. The $5 billion from Natural gas in the last 10 years cannot be located. The 3 trillion from taxes, 3 trillion naira from taxes have not been remitted to the Federation account. 2 more. When the NNPC recently had a problem with the Minister of Finance, the MD of the GMD did say, and most Nigerians have forgotten about it, that in the last 10 years, a former head of state caused or directed the NNPC to dish out 1.5 trillion naira to certain people in the country. Of course, you know those are PDP members. The last one and this one will have to go to the anti-graft agency at the appropriate time. We've written a petition, but they haven't attended to it. The government wanted to renew the oil licenses of an oil company, ExxonMobil. The government itself set up a committee that said, don't renew for less than $2.5 billion. A Chinese company offered to buy the licenses for $5 billion. But the federal government renewed for only $600 million. From that single transaction, we lost $4.4 billion. Anybody therefore, and I'm advising the governor, it's not enough to allow the federal government just to declare at the end of the month, call your commissioners, come and share. What are we sharing from? How much should belong to all of us? Now, let me just end by saying, in the words of Shakespeare, and I'm quoting, there is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in mysteries. On such a full sea are we now afloat. And we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. Thank you very much.